What's up guys, and welcome back to our coverage on The Rise of Skywalker. One of the more controversial elements of Star Wars Episode 9 was how they chose to handle the character and legacy of Supreme Leader Snoke. The hands of the filmmakers were kind of put in a bind after The Last Jedi, and after Rian Johnson decided to kill off Snoke in his movie, leaving Episode 9 for a period of time seemingly villainous. In Star Wars Episode 9 though, we did actually get a hint at Snokes Origins, or rather a full reveal with a lot of the backstory missing. We ultimately learned that Snoke was simply a clone that was developed by the Sith cultists on the planet of Exegol under the supervision of Emperor Palpatine. And in the visual guide for The Rise of Skywalker, we also learned that Snoke was just a test for Kylo Ren, a test that was again orchestrated by Darth Sidious to ensure that Kylo Ren was cunning enough to eventually inherit the throne of the Sith. Therefore, Sidious created somebody to teach Kylo Ren the dark ways of the Force, but also how to be cunning and eventually overthrow his master in Snoke. As far as Snoke's very minor role in The Rise of Skywalker though, we finally got an explanation from Disney today in the form of one of the editors behind Episode 9. And although they do not go into a lot of the backstory of Supreme Leader Snoke, as that is a story for another time, we do learn a lot about the creative choices behind his role in Episode 9, or rather the lack thereof. The Rise of Skywalker finally gives us some long-awaited answers. A scene showing multiple Snokes held in glass containers seems to suggest that he was a clone used by the Emperor, which again, the editor confirms. I just think that we came up with a visual effect that we thought would be really fun for the audience, to create a visual that would tell a whole story. I believe that was successful. We didn't have to change a lot of dialogue. You just see one shot, and you kind of get it. I love stuff like that. A moment where you just see something in the background, and you can say to yourself, okay, I totally get that and why that is. The whole point that the editor is trying to make here is that Snoke's story is not a part of The Rise of Skywalker, or even Kylo Ren's story at this point in time, and was something that needed to be shown visually, as again the importance of this scene is between Kylo Ren and the returned Palpatine, not the character of Snoke nor his backstory, so there's only really one line of dialogue and then the visual effect, which is why the idea of Snoke isn't really lingered on in The Rise of Skywalker. You just get the idea that he's a clone, you get the visual, and then you move on to the bigger story, which was a very bold choice for the movie, to just sort of push aside one of the characters that were integral for The Last Jedi as well as in The Force Awakens, and just have him be a visual effect in the background to further the story of Darth Sidious and Kylo Ren and their coming interaction. But what are your thoughts on this and Disney's explanation for the Snoke scene in The Rise of Skywalker and why it was so brief? Again guys, this is not a full explanation video on the backstory of Snoke, that will come later. It's just the thinking of Snoke's scene in The Rise of Skywalker behind the filmmakers. But ultimately, do you agree with this? And was your Snoke theory correct? As always my friends, thank you guys for the constant support on the YouTube channel. May the Force be with you, and have a great day.